Boris said, this came out on TV, he said there's 190 trucks stuck on the motorway, it'll be sorted, Francis had lifted it. There was 1,000.
Oh. Do you know how many's in it? There's 3,800 trucks in the lorry park.
At the time, though, there's 1,000. It's 190.
It's just absolutely mental, and I don't know what to say.
So France is saying now, and it's that you've got to have passed the test of not having COVID to enter the country.
Yep.
Is he being clever here with Brexit negotiations?
No,
Macron, or is he?
Oh no, he is. Yeah, of course he is.
Is it?
Yeah, no, wouldn't you do this?
Or is he getting his own back?
So just in case anybody hasn't actually has missed any of this, and you've been on the moon or somewhere, our amazing Prime Minister, who for 5 weeks we've been screaming on this show, going, "Why are you relaxing the conditions for social distancing and bubbles and all the rest of it? Why are you relaxing the conditions for Christmas for 5 days so that we can cause a massive COVID spike heading into January, which then will tie up all the hospital staff and all the healthcare staff at the exact time where you want them to be administering the injections and the vaccine?" And we were screaming about it every week. Yeah. It's madness. And then basically towards the end of last week, he got all the scientists literally telling him, "Look, this is going to be worse than you could possibly imagine. You have to cancel Christmas." So instead of going on TV and going, "Oh, whoopsie, never mind, it is a bit worse than I thought. I'm sorry about that, but we are going to have to curtail this and we're going to have to cancel the arrangements we've made," he went on, and because we got a variant of it here that's spreading slightly faster, well, that variant is in other countries. It is a lot faster, to be fair, yeah, but it's in other countries as well. It's not just in the UK. This variant is there. We didn't have the same strain of it by the time it hit the UK from Wuhan. It had mutated a little bit. That's the nature of viruses. So what's a good idea? I know. Let's go on TV and address the nation and say that you've got to cancel Christmas because we've got a super strain of the COVID virus. As I watched this, I actually said in the room I was watching it, and this is going to be catastrophic. Yeah. We're going to end up probably shut off from the rest of the world, who are going to not want any transport, delivery, goods or anything else. And yeah, we hit Monday, and by Monday we were an island, yeah, and good Boris actually managed to give us a taste of a no-deal Brexit early.
Instantly. And when it said super strain, I thought mutant, and then I thought X-Men.
It's crazy.
And I thought
crazy language.
Why use that
crazy language? Crazy. Yeah. Part of the reason you vote for people because you trust them and you go, "These are intelligent people. I'm voting for them to represent me in Parliament."
He knows Latin.
And run the he knows pig Latin. He doesn't say it properly. Half of the stuff he says is wrong, but no one pulls him up on it because they can't be bothered because they think it's a dead language, you know. But at the end of the day, you trust people, you elect them, and you think, well, this is somebody I know. He's been in politics a long time. Who run the country. So how stupid have you got to be to do what he's done?
I just want to add to a little something to this. It's not really about France and reopening to the trucks. It's about the Cornish fishermen. Cornwall and many fishermen up the east coast as well voted for Brexit because they saw their waters being taken over by Spain, by France, by Denmark, by Iceland, and they didn't think it was fair. It looks like the Brexit deal, if it does come through, will have watered down the thing, and this thing about sovereignty, which we've talked about before, about control of your own waters. Well, the EU are still going to be there, so you voted for something which you're not going to get, ever going to get. Why?
Stupid. Why? Do we feel stupid yet? You should do. If you did go along with this and you voted for this, and then even when all the truth of it all started to spiral out, you were allowed to make a mistake, by the way, and vote to leave, and then realise later on, oh dear me, I didn't have all the facts, and change your mind. That's fine. But if you were still on board with that ship of fools at this stage, then I feel really sorry for you, because you have had enough information now to make an informed choice and change your mind on that. However, the question about sovereignty that I've been arguing on this show for years now, sovereignty doesn't exist because we live in a global economy that doesn't allow sovereignty as such. However, if you actually do want to get down to the subject of sovereignty, and the EU robs you of your sovereignty, well, it's funny, isn't it? Because France and Denmark, etc., all these countries seem to have a bloody good control of the sovereignty this weekend, when they decided arbitrarily, without referring to the EU whatsoever, to shut the borders and not allow us in. So if they've not got sovereignty, they've certainly pulled off a lovely bit of smoke and mirrors, to stop our super strain. But let's have a look. At least we've made some progress today. So if we can have a look at a video now, things are slightly getting a bit better, but not totally.
How easy will this test system be to implement? Is the chaos likely to continue even now the border is reopening? Because there are really a long line of trucks at the border.
Yeah, good morning. And I think that's exactly the point. I mean, at the last count, there was something like 3,000 lorries backed up in southeast England. Of I think about half of that pretty close to the port. So that's going to take an awful lot of time to get through. In terms of the testing regime itself, I mean, that seemed to be part of the reason why we had this sort of somewhat perplexing delay in getting a resolution, which in that the French side wanted the more comprehensive test, and the British side wanted the speedier test. I think in the end they've gone for the speedier test, and I guess it remains to be seen just how fast they can get through that backlog before, of course, the December 31st deadline, which is looming rather fast.
Yeah, it certainly is. What kind of chaos does this kind of show us what a no-deal Brexit could look like? Is this what it would be, or could it get even worse?
I'm hesitant to make predictions because we're still at the stage where we haven't actually got a Brexit deal. So it's very difficult. I mean, at the moment, those talks are centering around what looks like about £60 million worth of fish. But the reality is that if we don't get a deal in the next few days, that's going to be very hard to get that ratified and through the various parliaments before that December 31st deadline. So I think even if we get a deal, there's likely to be some problems at the border for some time, partly because of this backlog, but partly also because they're really leaving the deal until the very last possible second.
On Sunday, the chief scientific advisor for the government said that more parts of England would have to face Tier 4 restrictions. Now, The Sun is reporting that this could actually happen as soon as today. Boris Johnson and his team actually mulling with whether or not to do this. Is that what we potentially can expect as of today? More parts of the United Kingdom are going to be having Tier 4 restrictions?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly seems to be heading in that direction. Again, the government has tended to be to sort of flip-flop a little bit on this as new evidence emerges. And again, particularly with this new variant, there's no real sense of, just how far it has spread. There's some concerns about the infectivity levels, obviously. But at the moment, it's partial data they're working with. On the other hand, there's a big political price to pay for cancelling Christmas, as they call it. And so they're sort of trying to find this balance between the two where people can enjoy some sort of family gatherings, but hopefully without obviously causing super spreader events. I think given what's happened over the last week or so, particularly with London and the southeast, and the sort of comments that we've had from the scientists and from the politicians, it does seem quite likely. But I'm hesitant to say it will definitely happen.
Well, I'm not hesitant to say it'll definitely happen. It'll definitely happen. What you're going to get is we're going to get through the next week or so, and we're going to hit the beginning of January, and we'll be all in a national lockdown. There you go. And we're in a national lockdown. We probably should have gone in one about a month or two ago, and it would have put this down. It would have kept it under control, and then we'd have been in. Instead of been planning to avert the catastrophe that January is going to be, we could have just been marshalling all our efforts at just rolling out the vaccine and getting as many people done as possible, because that's the only way this is going to end. This nightmare has to end, and it can only end with the vaccines, and we're lucky. We've got 4 at least that are 90-odd% effective, and that will deal with this variant. And by the way, it's not a super strain, it's a variant.
It's variant.
Yeah, it's slightly less scary language, isn't it?
Thank you for watching. I'm impressed. You've passed the IQ test and got this far, so let's press that button to do the last thing that helps us. It's got subscribe on it, you can't miss it, and please ring the bell for notifications of future videos.